Alright folks, welcome to another beer review. Recording this live, but I'm not going to sit around and wait for people to join. Um, Recording on time though, people watching the playback of this, so progress. So just going to jump straight into it really. I hope everyone is doing okay. It is obviously Wednesday evening, hump day, and yeah, in fact, I'm not very happy with this tripod placement. Bear with me 1 second. Don't want you to see. Well, you're going to see my dirty bed. All the stains. All the stains. There we go. It's just so I can. There we go. That's the best that we can do. And with the weather as awful as it is, I'm imagining my internet connection is not going to be too good. So if there's any interruptions or slowdown or whatever, do apologise. So I think this is like the only time I've really come close to doing a sort of a premiere, because basically it's quite a freshly released beer. Well, I ordered it the day the email came through from Left-Handed Giant, and yeah, so basically, if you've not seen the unboxing video that I did, or I recorded when I received the box, but forgot to edit and upload it until about 10-20 minutes before I was due to go live. So, therefore, making that video completely redundant. Sort of like me as a person, really. Um, yeah, so I did a cheeky little order. A very small order, actually, from Left-Handed Giant. Just remove these labels so you don't see my address. Because I'm already begging by putting a fucking PayPal comment link in the comments. But do you know what? Been creating content for a long time, so I think it's about time I got paid. That just jest. I am toying, well, not toying with the idea. I really want to do a charity live stream, and if you don't donate any fucking money, I'm gonna come after you. I'm not really. I mean, I'm hardly a threat. I could have an AK-47 and I still would not be a threatening presence. So yeah, made a cheeky order with Left-Handed Giant. So 4 cans. I got merch to go along with the new beer release because I've become that much of a twat. And I've become even much more of a twat because I've once again gone against my stance when it comes to fashion, and I've bought a long sleeve t-shirt. Now, you know me, I love me sweatshirts. They're comfy, they're just good, but I've never really been a big fan of long sleeve t-shirts. Especially ones, oh, it's on this side because the image is reversed, when there's fucking writing on the sleeves. I used to be very much against the idea of a t-shirt with a pocket because it's a t-shirt. Why would a t-shirt ever need a pocket? Got a few of those now. I was always a big sort of supporter of t-shirts with a big design so you get value for money. I'm starting to just like very simple t-shirts with a little logo in the corner. I'm going against every fashion sort of faux pas I set against every now. I bought fucking dungarees, for Christ's sake. While I'm in my 30s, I decided that I wanted to start wearing dungarees. It was to try and win favour of someone, but we won't get into that. Anyway, the shit you do to try and make yourself more appealing to the opposite sex, I guess. Anyway, we're not going to have a stream just dedicated to me taking the piss out of myself, although it will happen quite a lot, I'm sure of it, because that's what I like to do. If you can't take the piss out of yourself, then you're fucked, really, aren't you? So anyway, hope everyone's doing well, whether you're watching this live currently or whether you're watching the playback of this. And if anybody is actually in possession of a can of the beer, then feel free to drink along with Uncle Peter. I'll even let you sit on my knee. And the wall is bare behind me because I was getting a bit bored of the decor. And I'm thinking of just making a big wall of beer labels. Because as a sad, lonely, pathetic 30-year-old, well, 33 now, I save beer labels because my life is that empty. And yeah, I used to like making collages with them, that sort of stuff. But I'm thinking on this wall here to put like loads of beer labels up. I don't know, we shall see. Or I could just like get loads of art and put it up there. Whatever, who cares? No one does. And I can't get them back into this fucking sleeve. So yeah, posted this on Instagram as well, so if any Instagram followers are coming over, then so be it. Evening, Peter. I have to take the piss out myself. That's the way life should be, though, shouldn't it, Mogo? Can't speak today. But yeah, I do tend to take it a bit too far, though, and it becomes really self-destructive. But you know what? If I can try and be funny about it, I'll do my best. So yeah, I was a little bit depressed though when I got this package because I opted for a double XL. Because for long sleeve t-shirt, I'm usually an XL. It's rarely hit and miss nowadays with merchandise from breweries because apparently every fucking craft beer drinker's, you know, slim or something like that. So the bigger boys and bigger girls don't really get a look in, although I think girls can pull off being a bit bigger. Men just look disgusting when they're fat, don't they? Really. So yeah, and I was a bit depressed that double XL fits really nicely, and it's not too. I mean, I'd hardly say it's an absolutely flattering piece of apparel, but I was worried I'd look like either a darts player or a pregnant person. But no, it's really comfy. It's lightweight as well, so it's not really good for this weather. But do you know what? It's very nice. But all I will say is, if anybody's wanting to get merchandise from Left Handed Giant, you might want to go up a size. That's all I'll say. So, got the t-shirt to go along with the new beer release. They threw in a really cool foil sticker of the owl from the label. And this is the beer in question. It's King of the Woodland Imperial Stout with pistachio and honeycomb, brewed in collaboration with our friends at Ultje Brewing Co. Brewed with pistachio, honeycomb and lactose, 12.5% ABV. It's the imperial version of, let me just get the label. It's the imperial version of Woodland Creatures. Can't remember if this is the original artwork that they had for the release, or if this was the sort of new artwork for the rebrew, because they've rebrewed it a few times now. It's almost become like a little bit of an annual release. Could do with some of that. But anyway, we won't get into that. Awesome artwork, as per usual, from James Yao. I think that's how you pronounce his name. And that carries on the trend with this label. A little bit more simple than its lower ABV counterpart, but still very nice and appealing. And I've actually got a selection of beer labels if anybody wants to look at them. if you look at them, I'll sit in the corner and wank watching you having a look at them. But yeah, James Yeo has really given Left-Handed Giant quite an identity. From like really simple pieces like that to the stuff that is brewed at the Left-Handed Giant brew pub. But then you get some really nice. I mean, there's his artwork with his collaboration. Well, with Left-Handed Giant's collaboration from Track. Who remembers these labels on the bottles in Track? Ooh. But yeah, sort of like really psychedelic looking artwork, and then some other pieces there. I'm sure you're all beside yourself with excitement looking at pieces of paper with artwork on them. But do you know, the reason why I collect them is because they are little pieces of artwork. You know, you can spend fucking loads on like canvases, limited edition prints and stuff like that. But I don't know. I mean, obviously you've got all the writing on the side and stuff, but it's just really nice to preserve them. So that's my excuse, and it's got nothing to do with me being lonely. Anyway, so I picked up not one but 2 cans of this. It's not a toucan, it's an owl. I've been on Jimmy O's channel too often. So I picked up 2 of those. One for now, obviously, and then one to save for later. And because I thought it's going to be a bit of an awkward order, you get free delivery over 30 quid. So I thought, you know what, I'll throw in a couple of other beers. We've got a Schwarz beer from the brew pub. Obviously, Schwarz beer being the German style. I do like a good dark German lager. And then, even though I've been a little bit disappointed with some of Left-Handed Giant's double IPAs that I've had recently, I thought I'd give this fresh hop hazy IPA a go. And that's the Young Hearts, which they brewed in collaboration. Well, I think Yakima Chiefs, who, you know, the infamous, the famous like hop provider, provided them with fresh, whole raw citricones, unkilned and flash frozen direct from the vine, remain physically and aromatically robust enough to preserve the delicate nuances only found in fresh hops. This is a result that perfectly preserves the magic of fresh hop season. So I thought I'd give that a go. And again, just James Yeo's artwork on that is second to none. Isaac Newton says nice. Thank you, Isaac. Want to see my beer labels? I want why should look through them. I wonder if that's a chat at lines ever worked. It might do. I might give it a go. I might get a restraining order against me, but we'll certainly give it a try. And we've got Craig from Kent Beer Reviews who says, good evening. Evening, Craig. Happy you could join me. Happy you could all join me, obviously. So, without any further ado, let's get this open and see what we get. I should have gone full twat and got myself some Left-Handed Giant glassware, but I'm trying to be a bit more careful with my spending this month, because these last couple of months I've literally been down to like my last 20 or so quid at the end of the month just before payday, and I hate that. Obviously everything I need to pay has been paid for, minus my credit card, which is a work in progress. Ruai says, greetings from Portugal. Greetings right back at you. Hope you're doing well. Hope your weather's a lot better than it is around here. And awesome artwork. Awesome artwork, says Margot. Yeah, just some. You could get some really nice designs when it comes to beer labels. And some really interesting artists and graphic designers, photographers, typographers, all sorts of creative people are now being used for artworks. What's new, gorgeous, says Thomas. Oh, just me being me. But speaking of which, how are you doing, handsome? Hope you're doing well. So, beer in the glass then, and It's pretty much jet black, I would say, with a nice, I'm not going to say dark tan, but a nice sort of darkish beige looking head. Evening, if you're struggling to lad, there is always a beer here for you. Okay, that sounds quite ominous. Can I wear my pants, Adam? Good evening, by the way. So many sexual references, and I think it's just my perverted, corrupt mind, to be honest. But good evening, sir. Let's see. Kawaii Dezu. I wish because I've got a slightly lazy eye, which I'm now drawing people's attention to. But one thing I don't understand this trend, and I don't know if people have picked up on this. But what is it, right, with girls putting the tongue out and then going like cross-eyed? I mean, obviously, I'm sure there's like a kawaii anime borderline sexual element to it, but I'm seeing that loads and loads cropping up, and I don't fully understand it. Pants and scarf are optional. I'm keeping my scarf on because I look a little bit more sophisticated with a scarf. Plus, it's a little bit not chilly in here, but I've had the window open because I was having a cheeky fag, well, cigarette before the stream started. Yeah, I don't get that either. There's even a word or term for it, I think. See, I haven't looked into it that much, but yeah, it's such a weird trend. So many weird trends. Mind you, most trends are weird anyway, really. But I'm glad someone else has picked up on the absurdity of cross-eyed girls with tongues out. Obviously, a lot of the time looking up, so you know what the connotation is. Let's not beat around the bush and go for the mouth. Pointless sex joke didn't even work. So, beer looks fantastic. Let's see what we get on the nose. There's a really nice, like melted dark chocolate sort of aroma. Does chocolate smell differently as it's melting? I don't know. That's just the image I get in my head. It's definitely got a little bit of a sweet booziness to it. Almost like a sweet dessert liqueur character. The pistachio is coming out. I haven't bought myself a bag of pistachios for ages. I used to love pistachios, and I know people like say pistachios are like really fiddly, but I sort of like the process of eating pistachios. You get your bag, you put some in a bowl, and then I just love that process of like opening them, discarding the shells. Sometimes there's little bits in there that you can use your tongue to get that extra bit of flavour, and then you eat them. And I don't know, there's just something really satisfying about the whole process of eating pistachios. Let's see. A hedgehog face is a term of Japanese porn. Of course it is. Of course it is. For an exaggerated facial expression of characters during sex, typically with rolling or cross eyes. Protruding tongue and reddened face. The style's often used in erotic manga, anime, and video games. But yeah, beer. Definitely, let's get back onto beer. I had half a can of this in Left on Giant Brew Pub. Wasn't a fan, as was overloaded with marzipan. Well, I do like marzipan, so so far so good. I mean, I love the original version of this. It does exactly what it sets out to do, and I think it captures, in the original version at least, it captures the we'll get that back on there for you. It captures the pistachio element really nicely, and it's not just like a generic dry roast nutty character that a lot of beers have there. And Sophia Goka says nom, oh vom, red. Well, how do I respond to that? But good evening regardless. Honeycomb, definitely there. Will say though, honeycomb itself, I'm not a fan of. I don't understand why people like crunchy bars. They're just, you can't eat them. They're just, it's too hard. Crunchy bar is just too hard. Not enjoyable. It's not an enjoyable eating experience. Flavour's nice. I like honeycomb when it's like been bashed up a little bit and then like sprinkled on something, or like a topping on like a brownie or something like that. But you're definitely getting both the pistachio and the honeycomb. As I said, a little bit of a chocolatey aroma. It's got the smell of, I can't remember what the specific syrup is, but like a syrup that you put in a coffee. Because I'm not really getting a coffee flavour. There's a roastiness there that you could, if you wanted to, attribute it to a coffee-like aroma. But yeah, Sophia Garka, please leave Ukraine alone. We're not going to get into another discussion about that. Don't worry. I had no intention last night, but I think I said some stuff that was maybe a little bit off kilt. Is that even a term, off kilt? I don't know. But yeah, anyway, I've smelt this beer too much now. It smells really good. So let's give it a taste. Cheers, folks. And cheers to the Ukraine. Adam, I do definitely see where you're coming from. There is like a genuine. What's it called now? What did you mention earlier? Marzipan. Comments right there. I can see the marzipan. There is a little bit of a well, not a little bit. There is a predominant marzipan flavour. Clueless drinker now banned in Russia. As I said last night, I would happily become best mates with Putin if I could reap the benefits of that. Powerful friends. Powerful friends. But yeah, definitely getting the marzipan character. I don't know how you magnify a pistachio flavour, but it does have like a tiny bit of a salty, like a salted pistachio. Because there is a tiny bit of a salinic quality in that regard. And it's one of those, just like with high ABV IPAs nowadays, even higher ABV stouts don't taste nor feel like high ABV stouts. Whereas this, there is a booziness to it. It's not subtle. It's got even like a little bit of a like a pink mallow sort of flavour. You know, like cheap pink mallow. Which in this case works really well. Oh, by the way, just had a brainstorm. How good would like a glass with the golden owl be on it? I mean, you know, there's satanic. Um, just English goes out the window, doesn't it? Really. There are satanic undertones and themes when it comes to the use of owls. So maybe, and a golden owl does sound like, you know, like a cult, like a very specific cult iconography. You must find the mark of the golden owl. Your journey will be perilous and dangerous. even though perilous is pretty much a stronger word for dangerous, but you know what I mean. Like, look for the mark of the golden owl. That glass exists, or did exist, on its first release. That makes perfect sense. They were doing a bit of a bundle where if you got a 4-pack of this, you got the because they released a pin badge, which I do like. I do like pin badges, but I thought getting a 4-pack might be a bit too much. But yeah, that to me tastes like a grown-up stout. It's not too sweet. The honeycomb is definitely there. Works really nicely with the pistachio elements. The stout itself, in terms of like being a base stout with the use of malts and hops, it's a really solid base for those flavours to be added. It doesn't go into detail about, yeah, if breweries are just like starting to put less and less details on their cans. Drinking Baron's Blimp Pilsner whilst waiting for my lasagna to cook. Oh, I do like a good lasagna, and that Blimp Pilsner was really nice. I think I've got a review of that coming up next year by the look of my beer review schedule. I need to get those beer reviews uploaded because I've just got hardly any space on my iPhone. So I need to get that sorted. But it is a good beer. All the beers that Harry kindly sent over from Baron. And I hate giving Harry compliments because he's just an arse. Even though very much looking forward to seeing both yourself and Harry in Liverpool in mid-March. Nah, I love Harry to bits. It's top bloke, top shagger. He's just a bit of a shit brewer, that's all. He's not really, he's actually a really talented brewer. I know there's a bit of an in-joke with our group, but God, I'm right up Harry's arse tonight, aren't I? But I do think Harry is a very talented, affluent and enterprising young gentleman. And what more can I say, really? But yeah, the Baron stuff was really, really good. It's Czech Pilsner, in my opinion, but nice. Well, I think that's what they've based it on, haven't they? And are you not usually a fan of Czech Pilsners, Adam? Because I think they've done a really good stand-up job of just making a very solidly brewed Pilsner. Do you have any of the hop kettle beers left? Certainly do. I've still got, if you can bear with me for 1 sec, I'm going to turn the camera off because you don't need to see my crotch thrusting at the screen. I mean, some people might, but I'm not going to give you the luxury of seeing my crotch. You have to pay for it. So let's see what beers I've still got. So, God, I've still got that can of Perla as well. We'll get that out. Don't think I'll drink that tonight. I've still got another can of Red Stripe, which I'm gonna drink later this evening because once again I'll probably end up on. And by the way, I still need to talk to him about it to get you unbanned from the channel. But I'll probably be going on Jimmy's chat a bit later on tonight. In fact, I think he's starting his live stream, or already has started his live stream. So yeah, I've still got these two, Adam. The Barrel Age #1 Flapjack Black Woodpecker Series. Let's see. God, they're so fucking loud. I don't know. Does it? It doesn't say what barrel that's in. I'm sure Adam will know. So I've still got that one, and then I've got just the very basic Flapjack Black, which I'm looking forward to. So yeah, Adam, if you've got any ideas for these, then I'm sure we can organise something. Another meet-up in Liverpool? Indeed. Indeed. Unfortunately, I am going to be working on those days. I was supposed to be going to London with Jimmy that day to go see the young Peter Boothroyd live. But I put in requests for holidays and they just got rejected. So I thought, I'll be cheeky because Adam reminded me that Harry's going to be in Liverpool. So I thought, I'll put them through again. Yeah, I don't think they're going to give me those days off because, you know, the new season has started. So, yeah, work can be a bit wank sometimes. I would never disrespect my work because, yeah, it's not the best pay, but could be getting paid less for doing much more, which suits me fine. Craig Harry is coming. Oh, sorry. Craig is coming for beers for work midweek, then staying for the weekend. And Thomas, hi everyone. Evening, Thomas. Please like and share. I'm so glad there are people who actually do a much better job at promoting my channel than I do, but greatly appreciate it, and I think you should all go subscribe to Thomas at Window. Oh my god, Window Beer Reviews. I need to watch your stream you did with Slice UK, so I'm looking forward to that. But thank you, Thomas. Greatly appreciated. Oh, excuse me. So yeah, this to me, it's on a basic level, it's a very well brewed stout. First and foremost, the base of the stout is chef's kiss. Nice amount of roastiness. Nice slight amount of char in there as well. Starting to talk with doing this gesture. Don't know why. Lovely body to it. It's not like the thickest stout in the world, but they don't always have to be like slightly watered down chocolate syrup. It's got a really sort of like back to basics feel in terms of the stout itself, but obviously they've used pistachios, which just add a little bit of an edge, slight salinity. You actually taste the pistachios, so they're not lost within the rest and the context of the beer itself. The honeycomb, because honeycomb's not like really like big bright sweet, is it really? It's like that sort of like I call it a brown sweetness. You know, because like if you get something like demerara sugar, it's got a different kind of sweetness than like a caster sugar. So it's a little bit more like reined in, but still sweet in its own way, like me. Lovely texture on your tongue as well. That's what she said. But yeah, no, I don't have any of those, Peter, but I have other hot kettle beers if you fancy a joint brewery showcase. I'd be more than happy to do that, Adam. That sounds good to me. We'll have to get that sorted. I need to do, went a bit like Seaside Mark then. Now I'm just rocking back and forth. The voices. 'Twas the golden owl. Yeah, we need to get that sorted, and I need to do more collaborative stuff. I know I need to get something arranged with Thomas, so he can do like a film and beer sort of thing. Need to do another film thing with Paul, PA Brew News. So yeah, I need to get more involved because I've not really even been on many of the beer live streams recently. Just been sort of like in a weird way, just like not detaching myself from that, but there was some stuff going on. I don't really feel that I'm the lovely, happy-go-lucky person that people love me for, really. So yeah, I don't think I've been the best company I could be in these past couple of weeks. But hey ho, it is what it is, and that was a funk that I sort of got myself into, as I tend to do. But we're making progress, ladies and gentlemen. And I think I did touch on this in a previous stream. And you know, I've always been a big advocate of talking about your feelings and, you know, bringing subjects like this to light. But tomorrow, I've got my first sort of session with a, I'm not sure if it's a charity or if you class it as an organisation called Mind Matters. So we'll see how that goes. Do I need counselling? I don't know. We shall see. But I don't know. I've just not really been myself, even before COVID, really. But do you know what? You've got to make some realisations. You've got to confront some things before you can get yourself out of it, you know. And it was a bit of a rocky journey. It threw me into a bit of a funk when I made that first step, I'm not going to lie. But do you know what? Even if nothing comes of it, I've made that step. And the only way you can get yourself out of a funk sometimes is down to you, to be honest. So I kind of like the therapeutic aspect of doing these live streams. And I always find it a bit more easier. It's weird, isn't it, to like speak openly on like a public platform than like having a face-to-face discussion with your nearest and dearest. Do you know what I mean? It's weird, isn't it? But do you know what? Going forward, and that's the best you can do, really. And what I would say is, if anybody's been like contemplating doing something like this, I mean, obviously, I'm probably going to be shitting myself before I get the phone call tomorrow, and it's gonna be awkward as fuck. It really, really is. I think my social anxiety is gonna kick in. But you know what? Don't be afraid to make those steps, because it might not be the answer, but it'll put you on the right track. And who knows? Might be able to become eligible for medical marijuana. That's a joke. That's a joke. But that reminds me. This is a question I asked on a review, but don't think it's been uploaded yet. Does anybody who's watching this, either live or after it's been uploaded, excuse me, has anyone tried CBD oil? Because I'm really interested, but I don't want to commit because it costs shitloads, and I don't want to throw, you know, money down like a well, if that makes sense. Well, I say that, but I've probably spent a little bit too much money on OnlyFans over these past few months, but we won't get into that discussion. But if anybody wants some content sent over, See, I think that's a big problem of mine. I joke a lot when I shouldn't really. But yeah, CBD oil. I've had CBD infused beers. Never really felt any of the things, because I think if you put CBD oil, surely if you put that in like a beverage in general, it's going to dilute the thing. I think you'd have to have such a strong like dosage. I don't know the science of CBD oil, so don't quote me on this, but this is just my what I think is logical thinking. But surely it dilutes it a lot, so you're not going to really get like the medicinal aspects of CBD. Because one of the things I suffer from, um, I struggle to sleep because I get very restless. I find that my mind goes into overdrive over the silliest things. I've not like got any aches or pains or anything like that, so I don't need that side of things. But I'd just be really interested to see what people's experiences have been when they've tried CBD oil for that sort of stuff. Um, Whether it works. I mean, obviously it's on an individual basis. You know what, like different strokes. What might be right for you might not be right for some. But yeah, I've always been interested, even though I can actually get pure cannabis oil from someone. Won't mention the name, but anyway, let's get off the conversation of narcotics. Even though you could argue, and there's an overwhelming case for this, that alcohol is probably the worst drug you could ever take. But anyway, we won't vilify a whole portion of the YouTube community. Let's see. The smile I wear only goes skin deep. If you saw how much I was crying on the inside, you might join me for a weep. You being open and honest about mental health is one of your strongest side notes, and I always think more men could learn from that. Definitely, definitely. It's not just like I know everyone's saying it now that you know men specifically. When we say this, by the way, we're not discounting the trauma of anyone else, but there is still Burnley. Burnley beat Tottenham 1-0. Um, It's a good job I didn't put a fucking bet on tonight, Jesus. But yeah, I know it's like the thing to say now. A lot of people, and I think there are some people who obviously mean it wholeheartedly. But it's like most things when something comes to light. A lot of people say it just to appear like they give a shit about something. But it's very true that just people in general should be a bit more open and honest. But it's so easy just to like lock stuff away or internalize. And yeah, but everyone goes through something. I've always been a thing of what you're going through might be classically more traumatic than what someone else is going through, but they may be going through something that's maybe classically a little bit smaller, but it's affecting them more than like that big thing that's affecting you. Because people get affected in different ways, don't they? Really. So yeah, I think it is good to talk. It's uncomfortable at times, and you do sometimes end up lashing out and doing and saying some silly things. Been very guilty of that on my Instagram, on my art page recently. But at the same time, someone expressing themselves, I think, is a valuable thing. Really, might not be the most healthy way sometimes, but they're still expressing something. And sometimes all it takes is someone who doesn't know that person to reach out and not just say the right words, but say something that resonates. It's weird, isn't it? It's completely weird how it works. There's no cut and dry, there's no black and white. The whole thing is and will always be a grey area. So there's no right or wrong answers. There's no right or wrong approaches. But I think one of the biggest... God, it sounds like in a couple of months I'll be starting my videos with... It's another blessed day, brothers and sisters, because I'm not going to find God. Some people, their lives are much better when they've found God or they get into religion. To me, this... I don't think there's anything like that. I don't think there's like a grand creator. Spirituality, I believe in a form of spirituality, but not in the religious sense. I think spiritualism and spirituality is an inner thing. God, how new age do I sound right now? And I've got me inside with a scarf around my neck. I'm starting up the Clueless Brotherhood and Sisterhood. You know, we accept all people in this place. It's not a cult. So if I offer you a drink, don't drink it, because we've seen what's happened in the past. But anyway, yeah, it's one of those things, really, isn't it? And I just think it's sad that people are suffering when they don't really need to be suffering, because there's always something out there, and you might not see it, you might not believe in it at first, you might search for it for years, decades, whatever, but there is something there. Do you know what I mean? God, this beer review's got pretty deep, but that's the thing with these live streams and my videos in general. Part of it's the beer, reviewing the beer, looking at the beer, dissecting the beer, but I know my beer reviews when I upload them. They're rambly, they go on for ages, it's tangent after tangent. But if I wanted to just do like quick, concise, clinical beer reviews, which are great, don't get me wrong, I'd do that. But I think even like just for me filming a beer review, it gives me a platform of expression that I don't really have in my day-to-day life, really, because as I'm sure Craig and Adam will attest to, you know, I'm not like this all the time in person. Do you know what I mean? I'm not a different person when I'm doing these live streams of beer reviews, but I think I'm a little bit more reserved, a little bit more reined in. What point am I trying to make here? Yeah, my beer reviews. So to me, it's more than just a beer review. It's like I can chat to someone about beer because I don't, because my family and friends, they're not into this like I am, but then they'll have a subject that they'll be the same with that I probably won't be that interested in. Although I'm always interested, no matter what the subject. When someone's like passionate about something, even if it's something you really don't like, I like hearing about that. I like hearing people being passionate about like something they've bought, or always love hearing people talking about their achievements, and like it's just good, isn't it, really? But I think yeah, we'll just awkwardly end whatever I was talking about there, because I can't remember what I was initially talking about, but it's a good beer though. It's a really nice beer. And I apologise, Thomas. I just started going off on a tangent as I was reading your comments. Let's see. Also, was the golden bird on your shirt a deliberate nod to the golden owl on the can? Well, actually, Thomas, it is, because for this release, they actually put out a long sleeve t-shirt. So the owl on the can, I don't want to get too close because, I don't want to, squash my tits against the camera. But Yeah, so it's basically the same owl design on the can as it is on the t-shirt, and they did a pin badge as well with the owl, and all the orders came with a really nice golden foil sticker, which I love this sticker, but once you've stuck a sticker to something, it has to stay there, doesn't it? And I can't commit to putting that sticker anywhere. But it's really beautifully designed by James Yo. I think he's an absolutely cracking artist. He really, really is. And let's have a quick look actually, because on the original sort of like Woodland Creatures um, artwork, it actually goes into details about what the malts and yeast is, and hops, obviously. So I'd imagine they haven't deviated from the original recipe, although I think they have rebrewed this beer. But again, I don't know if they've stuck to like what they originally brewed with Ultje, or if they've sort of like adapted it, changed it, improved it. So basically, the hops in this are Bramlin Cross. The malts are Marisota, Carafa Free, Caramalt, Low Colour Chocolate, and Crystal. And then the yeast is S-04. So I'd imagine it's just a bit more of a bulkier version than the original recipe. And now I've said that, I want a KFC. But yeah, so it's really, it's to me it's a lovely beer. It's not too sweet. You're getting the ABV, which is always good, I think. So you wanna take your time with it. Whereas like an insane like pastry stout, it's so riddled with different flavours, which is fine. Don't get me wrong. You get some really tasty and just like borderline pornographic uh, pastry stouts, especially from the US. I think US craft breweries excel at that style, and the pastry sour as well. But you wouldn't want to drink too much or too many of those styles of beers in quick succession. Whereas, I mean, if you wanted to do a night of imperial stouts, well, you're taking your life into your own hands in the first place. But I'd be more inclined to have something that's maybe a little bit more subtle like this, but different and flavoursome in its own way. And do you know what? I reckon this would be really nice because I know you can like make brownies with beer and stuff like that. And I think even like if you were to bake a nice sort of like dense, dark sort of rye bread and you used beer, I think this would be a really good bake. I've never baked bread with beer before. I've never baked cakes or brownies with beer before. The only time I've ever used beer in cooking, I've never even like made bread with beer. The only time I've ever used beer is in like savoury dishes, like a chili. I used to have a bit of a phase of incorporating beer into making burgers, which you would sometimes get like nice hoppy pale ale. Sometimes the hop flavours will come through in the patty, but a lot of the time you're like, I'm not getting any of this. So yeah, I think this would be a really nice beer to play around with, really. Um, 12.5%. The Woodland Creatures is 6.9, so it's just a little less than double the ABV of the original beer. And they still actually had cans of Woodland Creatures on the web shop, and I just didn't think to pick up a can of that to do maybe a bit of a side by side because I think that would be really interesting. So I might do that with the second can that I've got, or I might just end up drinking it. Just drinking it really. Let's see. I had a chill, a what? A CBD oil beer before, had no effect on me. Yeah, because that double IPA from Brew by Numbers didn't feel any sort of like effects, or it didn't like wind down a little bit or anything like that with that. So I think there's a little bit of a gimmicky side to like CBD and beer, because I know I'm not sure if you had it as well, or one of the CBD beers from, oh, what are they called? Glenafric. Again, the only thing I found with that double IPA from Brew by Numbers that had CBD oil in it was it had a bit of like a unique flavour to it. So it like imparted a flavour as opposed to like having like an effect, if that makes sense. I don't know. I don't know. It's interesting, but I'd like to try CBD oil. I really, really would. I remember my late partner had CBD oil in coffee once. I was relaxed as hell. Ah, interesting. Because there are people who I know, well, not like know on like a very personal level, more like acquaintances who, swear by CBD. But then again, there have been people who have tried CBD in all different types, in different forms, at different strengths, and they've said it's had no effect on them. So, yeah, interesting. CBD in coffee. You'd think that that wouldn't work because like obviously the caffeine. Although mind you, coffee doesn't exactly wake me up. It doesn't like give me a jolt. I just like the taste of coffee. If I'm tired as fuck and I have a coffee, I'm still gonna be tired as fuck. If I had like 3 coffees in an hour, because I do drink a lot of coffee, I don't like feel like energetic or buzzed or anything like that. If anything, it makes me a little bit more. I go to the toilet a bit more for both a number one and a number two. And sometimes the number twos aren't too pretty, but no, no, no. The golden owl will save us all. But gonna have to write a short story, aren't I, about the golden owl? You are very spiritually minded. Sometimes I can be. Um, but then sometimes I'm just so like nihilistic, and I don't know. It's a weird thing, but I think there is a lot to be said about spirituality. I'm probably the wrong person to be talking about it because I've never really like looked into the subject. But again, I don't think you necessarily have to be religious to be a spiritual person, because you start going into like your own consciousness and things like that. And it sounds like a person from a retreat. And yes, we're going to do some yoga, and then we're going to dose ourselves with pure THC, and we are going to try and channel our ancestors to fight the pain that we're feeling inside. Anyway. Oh shit, I just noticed it was the exact same Ruddy owl, and the fact that Thomas said Ruddy fills me with glee, and I can imagine his. By the way, Thomas is the most eloquent Englishman I've ever met, and he's not even English. And it's absolutely wonderful to hear him speak. You speak a lot better than people locally to me, and I'm sure Adam would agree with me. Um, don't want to say too much because I don't want to come across as like a snob in the town that I've lived in all my life, but I am too big for this town. Don't care what people say. I'm Skelmersdale's prominent beer reviewer, beer tuber. That's really sad. If you start to use beer tube as a status symbol, then you know you've got problems. But yeah, I am Skelmersdale's premier beer reviewer. Although I'm sure there's genuine beer cicerones who live in Skelmersdale. But you know what? You don't need a certificate to know what a good. You don't need a certificate to know the difference between what a good beer and a bad beer tastes like. Anyway, let's see. Dude, I get it. Just got 36 awesome Star Trek stickers from someone, and I wanted to make a collage with them, but now I don't dare. Gotta go, buddy. Enjoy the stream. Thank you for stopping by, Thomas. Really appreciate it. Yeah, I love stickers, but I always feel I get stickers remorse when I use a sticker for what a sticker should be. Although, let's have a little bit of a walk around, shall we? Can I change the camera to be front facing? Settings, camera. Oh, there I am. Big on the screen. Use the back camera. Oh, look, there's a towel on the door. So we'll go for a bit of a walkies. When I say walkies, I mean 2 steps. So this is what I've done with a majority of my stickers. Just put them on me. Now, I don't want to sound posh, because I'm not posh, and I'm not a wealthy man, but I've got a drinks cabinet, which is twatty to say. So on one side, we've got those stickers. By the way, if you're ever in Munich, great little bottle shop. Let's see. You might be seeing me on there later. There's the Cabernet. And there's the other side with my beer stickers. Not just beer stickers, but stickers in general. And then I made just a little, because I saw this on the Tiger Belly podcast, the Bobby Lee, the comedian's podcast. He just had like just empty frames with just random stickers put in. And by the way, if anybody wants to buy this original piece of Peter Davis artwork, 100 quid. And then we've got some a little bit more activist, and oh, me too. So yeah, don't know what point I was trying to make with that, but it is what it is, ladies and gentlemen, even though it's mainly gentlemen who watch this channel. So we'll put the front facing camera back on, close this, and yeah, so hers looking a bit, I look like an ugly woman in that, with that hairstyle, an ugly but artistic woman. So yeah, that's it really. Maybe next time you'll actually see some stuff on the wall. I might just try and make a nice wall of beer labels, even though I've got loads of beer labels that I've stuck to like blank paper, but I've not cut around them. So I'll probably get me little guillotine out tomorrow, because I've got nothing else to do on the day off. So yeah, you might see a bit of a more decorated wall. But yeah, back to the beer. Left-handed giant, Ultje, king of the woodland. Really, really nice imperial stout. Something a little bit different. Excuse me. If you don't like pistachio and you don't like honeycomb, you're going to get those flavours in this, so you won't like it. If, like Adam, you don't like the flavour of marzipan, who doesn't love like marzipan covered in chocolate? I was in chocolate and marzipan heaven when I was living in Germany. Oh, he's talking about Germany again. Um, but mind you, I think isn't that more of like an Austrian thing? But then again, one of the greatest inventions is oh my god, what's it called now? You get it at Christmas. It's not strudel. Stollen. Ooh, Stollen. Why aren't we getting more like Stollen inspired beers? Why aren't we getting more Stollen inspired beers, by the way? Because Stollen is gorgeous. Really, really is. Dipped in some coffee. Ooh. Anyway, folks, I'm going to end this stream here because we've gone off the rails. We've gone on multiple tangents. And I think fundamentally, this is a lovely beer. It takes the original Woodland Creatures, amps it up, and that's basically what it's done. It's taken all those flavours that you have in Woodland Creatures. I'm just going off recent memory because it was about 3 or 4 weeks ago, maybe a little bit longer, that I did that other left-handed giant beer haul, and I picked up 2 cans of Woodland Creatures. Probably enjoy both of them. So it just amps up those flavours in that beer in equal parts. So it doesn't like go off in one direction or one flavour takes prominence. In fact, I think there is a more defined marzipan-esque, like sweet nut flavour to it. The honeycomb adds just a really nice level of decadence. That salinity from the pistachios. It's like when you put a little pinch of salt in your food. It doesn't, I mean, there is a little bit of like a slight, not saltiness, but subtly salinic. But at the same time, salt can bring out those other flavours. And I think that's what has happened with the inclusion of the pistachios. But of course, you get that like generic nuttiness. But at the same time, it does taste like you've opened up a bag of pistachios. You've got a film on the TV, and you're just cracking them open, popping them in your mouth, cracking them open, popping in your mouth. I love that process of pistachios. But yeah, the one thing I would say, it's not a subtle imperial stout. The booze is there, but it's not boozy, if that makes sense. And I'm sure there's flavour notes that I'm picking up on that I just can't articulate into words, because it's a very robust yet rounded imperial stout with just something a little bit different due to that combination of honeycomb and pistachio. Evening, beautiful. Hope you're doing okay, Craig. And Craig, unfortunately, you join me just as I'm about to leave. But thank you nonetheless for stopping by and feeding my ego. Because, like Christina Aguilera once said, I am beautiful in every single way. Words won't bring me down. Speaking of Christina Aguilera, question for the group. Do you prefer that slightly naughtier side, the dirty Christina Aguilera, or that like sweet, innocent, yet a little bit girl next door who's got a bit of a kink vibe that she had with Genie in a Bottle? Pick one. Now. Anyway, that was a very weird thing to just abruptly stop talking about. Which version of Christina Aguilera you find beautiful? But hey, you know, we're a multicultural, sophisticated, operation here at the Clueless Drinker channel, and I've just realised my charger's not working, so yeah, this stream has drained a shit ton of my battery. But it is what it is. I'm not gonna moan about it. Anyway, but yeah, good evening, Craig. Oh, Atletico Madrid drawing 1-1 with Man United. Still quite shocked that Burnley beat Tottenham, to be honest, after their fantastic display, even though I will say it, don't think Harry Kane's as good as people make him out to be. He's too inconsistent. And thanks to Tottenham, um, Manchester City are going to absolutely take it out on all of us this weekend. That's not going to be a pretty game for an Evertonian to watch. Good evening. I'm not sure if it's Steve or if it's Was. I think it might be Steve. Good evening. I'm looking forward to watching a playback of your Bigfoot stream. Especially interested to hear what Barry Titler has to say about that. And but unfortunately, Steve or Was Mr. B, Mr. Beatty himself. I am just about to end the stream, but I think Jimmy's on now, so I'm probably going to have a cigarette and then go over to Jimmy's stream. So, but thank you for stopping by, and I hope you had a good discussion about Bigfoot and Sasquatch. Which, by the way, link click on the comment, because now you can actually go to people's channels through the comments. It only took YouTube God knows how long to put that back into its coding. Check out the Steve and Was show. Two hilarious people, really funny, and really interesting streams, especially the Truth or Bollocks stuff. I like that. But yeah, anyway, check them out in the comments, and anyone else who has got a channel, go subscribe to them as well. Yeah, so same with Bob over, pal. Yeah, it was interesting, definitely. No, I'm not going to stop it, Steve. I won't stop it. But anyway, thank you all for watching. This is a wonderful, wonderful beer. And thank you all for stopping by. You all take care, stay safe, enjoy the rest of your week, and I shall hopefully see you all soon. Bye bye for now.